Hi, everyone. Today I want to talk about something really exciting, Microsoft Teams. And when I say exciting, it's free. Free if you have Office 365, which most of you listening probably do. And if you don't, you may want to move to Office 365. We do encourage that. And here's just another reason why. Um, Microsoft Teams is included with most of the Office 365 plans. Great productivity tool, utilizes a lot of things that you're already using and puts them all in one small little hub. As a Microsoft partner for the last 20 years, the Miller Group has had the opportunity to stay on the cutting edge of new Microsoft technologies. One of the most exciting pieces of information to come out in the last year has been Microsoft Teams. In a nutshell, Microsoft Teams is a chat-based workspace inside Office 365. Microsoft Teams allows you to collaborate in real time with users within your organization and outside of your organization. This may not be very exciting at first sight. However, Teams is unique in that it combines multiple Office 365 products into one central hub to allow for a more fluid and open environment. Teams allows individuals to collaborate with one another by having things organized into teams and channels. Teams are a collection of people, content, and tools, whereas channels are dedicated sections within a team. This allows for you to keep conversations organized by specific topics, projects, and disciplines. Without going into much detail, Teams brings together conversations, meeting files, Office apps, and third-party integrations into a single hub to optimize teamwork. Now that you have a high-level understanding of what Microsoft Teams is, it's time to dive into how the Miller Group uses it here. When you first open Teams, you are presented with an interface that looks similar to this. Again, every company can use this differently. There is no right or wrong reason or way to use this. One of the first benefits that we realized here internally at the Miller Group is a lack of the need for email, especially internally. I know everyone is familiar with email chains that get out of hand with people replying and replying to all. Those are no longer needed. Those can be handled inside chats. Over here on the left-hand side, you have your chat icon where you can have one-to-one chats. For instance, here, I will say something to Ashley here. She will get a notification up in the left-hand corner of this activity saying that she has something new. She'll see the chat window also light up. She can click on chat and she can start chatting. If I wanted to start a new conversation with Ashley or someone I haven't started typing with before, I can just type in the new, start typing in her name and hit OK, which would bring up our previous conversations, but you could start that way. Or you could have a list of all the ones that you've done in the past over here on the left-hand side. You will notice that on some of these, there are more than one person in a conversation. For instance, here I have Ashley, Brandon, and Stephen. And it appears that everybody's working hard today. You can see the ability to go ahead and add GIFs. Stephen's typing. You saw where he was typing and it popped up. You can attach files. You can bring up a rich text editor where you can bold things, paragraph form, blah, blah, blah. We could schedule a meeting right now by clicking on the schedule meeting. It would invite all the people that are in this conversation to the meeting. We could pick which time we want for the meeting right here. We could actually do a meet now somewhere. That's in a one-to-one. You have stickers that you can do here, GIFs. Really helps with the interaction with everybody, allowing them to go ahead and send funny looking things here, just like people would use when they're using text messaging. Over here, for instance, I actually did reply. So that's kind of chats. Stephen, for instance, let's just say I wanted to start a recording or a video call or an audio call with Stephen over here on the right-hand side. I could just click on the video call. It would open up my camera. Hi, everyone. It would call Stephen. And if he's available, he would answer. And Stephen does answer. And there we can see Stephen in all his glory. Hi, Stephen. I want to show off the ability to go ahead and share screens here too. Could you share something on your screen with me? This is a great example of Stephen's not at the office. You saw his dog walking around there in the background. He's working from home today. But here's the ability for Stephen to go ahead and share his screen with me. So not only what he's working on, he can pull up a document, we can look at it together. A nice capability there. And then over on the right-hand side, we could actually continue a conversation as well. And then also on the right, we have the ability to go ahead and add people to this phone call. So for instance, if we wanted to see if Brandon wanted to join us, we could add him. It dials him up, and Brandon jumped on the call. You can see down here at the bottom. And so now Brandon, Stephen, and myself are all on a conversation. Hi, Brandon. There we all are. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Go ahead and get out of this. End our conversation there. So that was just having conversations or chats inside the chat thing. And we've here internally at the Miller Group completely replaced internal email by using chat. The heart and soul of Teams is the Teams option over here on the left. Here then in this next pane, you can see all the teams that I am a member of. Each one of these teams has different members in it. The Miller Group employees is every employee here at the Miller Group. So anything that happens inside that team, everyone here at the Miller Group has the availability to go ahead and review and view that. For instance, down here, though, the development group is just for the developers here at the Miller Group. So our service department wouldn't see the information going on inside the development since they really wouldn't have a need to access that. So that allows people not to be bogged down with stuff they don't need to see. Underneath, for instance, our Miller Group team, we have channels. Every team comes with a general channel, and then you have the availability to go ahead and create more channels right here. We created an announcements one for things that are not related to like work. For instance, we have our Miller Group holiday party. We talked about Veterans Day, winter snow schedule stuff. One cool thing, another benefit with Teams is the ability to go ahead and use Teams for your files. So in the past, you would have a file server. You'd have all your files on there. You'd be linked to those files by like a file drive letter, like an F drive or an S drive or an M drive or something similar to that. We've moved all our files. And these are tabs across the channels here. So every channel comes with the default of conversations, files, and a wiki. We went ahead and moved all our server files to this Miller Group employees team under the file shares channel. So from within here, you can actually dive down and look at information that we would have had inside here and pull things up. Clicking on this opens up Word inside Teams. Again, you don't have to have Word installed on your computer. We could actually edit this document right from within inside here as we get the error message. Probably a poor one to choose. We don't want to see everybody's phones. We pull up the information policy manual and edit it here. Again, another bad one request. Don't want to show that one. Inside our files, we can find a file. We can open it. This is a Word document. You can see there's Excel spreadsheets there. Opening up the Word document opens this natively inside Word, inside Teams. You do have the ability here to go ahead and open it up inside Word. You can edit it straight inside Teams, which we'll do. Allows us to open the document. You can see you have your familiar Word options here to go ahead and make changes. If we wanted to start a conversation on this document, if we had some questions we wanted to ask somebody, we'd click on the Start Conversation over on the right here. To go ahead and get a hold of somebody individually, you do something called you mention them. So use the @ sign first, and then you'd start typing in someone's name, and then you type what you want them to see. And then on Brandon's end, he would get a new notification up here in the activity that there's something new for him. He would click on the activity. He would click on, and it would take him straight to where that conversation was being had. So for instance, here we had a new email that went to one of our things. If I click on that, it takes me straight to it inside that team. We use ours, for instance, to hold meetings. So for instance, we have a weekly tech meeting with our service techs. The meeting's scheduled inside here. We can actually start the meeting within here. We have the ability to go ahead and record that meeting that we can then replay. I have an example underneath here. We had a meeting here earlier. Underneath where we had this meeting, you can see it was recorded, and then from right in here we could actually replay that recording, which would show you the meeting there. This uses Microsoft Stream, again, which is another Office 365 product that you get with Office 365. A cool feature we use a lot here internally is this polling application. We have some polls, I think, underneath the Miller Group here. Let's take a look. So we've created quite a few polls in the past. We had a chili cook-off, and we're asking people to go ahead and vote for their favorite chilies. We had a costume contest for Halloween, asked people to go ahead and pick what they liked for that. You'll see these polls are actually in our conversations. If you scroll through the different timelines here, you could find where those polls were. There are plenty of different things that people discuss inside here that, again, that are no longer needed for email. For instance, Stephen mentioned here that his daughter made some pumpkin pie. In the past, that would have been an email to all. Everybody would have replied. You can see here there was 30 different replies just from this one little thing here. And it does really help with employee engagement and just the atmosphere around the office. You can see the pie is dwindling here as time goes on. So just different ways that we use it internally. You do have the ability to go ahead and to invite people that are not part of your internal office, not part of your tenant, I guess, inside Microsoft Office 365. If we take a look at this team here, my test team, these two accounts here, this is Brandon's Gmail account. Please go ahead and send him a bunch of spam. That's my Gmail account. These Gmail accounts are not Office 365 Microsoft accounts, but we can invite these people as guests to go ahead and take part in this team. So Brandon and in my Gmail account here have full access to this team, the Joe's Test team, so they can see everything inside the general and the non-work stuff. You do need to be careful when you are inviting guests to your teams. Anything inside the team, any of these channels inside the team, they will have access to. So for instance, we do have a projects team up here at the top that we use internally for all the projects that we have going on. We do not invite clients to that because it's internal conversations based upon that. We might have pricing, we may have mistakes, we may have conversations with vendors that we have in there that we're discussing along with that, things that we probably don't want our clients to be privy to or to see. So we keep those there, but if we wanted to have a external channel for our to invite our external team that we want to invite our clients to, we could do that. Meetings are, it integrates with your Office 365 or your Outlook calendar. So you'll see everything that's on your Outlook calendar here. Here's a meeting that was a non-team meeting that I had at 10 o'clock for a client, and then there's one here which was actually a Microsoft Teams meeting. You can see here that there's a telephone number associated with that. By default, Microsoft Teams does not have the ability to go ahead and have call-in numbers like that. That's an add-on feature, Microsoft Audio Conferencing. But it's really neat and allows you to go ahead and have like a WebEx or a GoToMeeting type meeting straight from within Teams. Really cool. Over here, and I also have the calls tab over here because I do have that Microsoft calling plan with my Teams that my direct business phone number is integrated with my Teams. So if somebody does call my number, 636-552-4000, it will ring inside Teams here and I can answer it and have that conversation here. There is the app for your phone for Android and for Apple users. So if someone does call me, I'm not in the office, my phone rings as well, and I can go ahead and answer that there. The files over here on the left-hand side are any files that I have used internally in my chats. This is all stored on my OneDrive. But everything else in all the teams, there are the files tabs here. Those are all stored and SharePoint on the back end. Again, you have the ability to go ahead and get those files no matter where you're at. So underneath this general channel, underneath the Miller Group employees, any files that we have used inside those conversations will be stored here. These are all the different pictures and things that people have uploaded there. You have the ability to go ahead and email a team or even a channel. So for instance, here, this general channel, if I went here and got email address, this would be the email address that external people could use to go ahead and email directly into this channel. We use this internally for our customer surveys. Anytime you do a support ticket with us and that support ticket is finished, we send you a survey at the end. If you click through that, the results will show up here. Here's just basically a regular email. You can see that email, instead of us getting that email anymore, it's right here inside this channel, inside this team. So central location for everybody to go and take a look at that. Down here at the left is the store. There are so many different third-party add-ons that you can have, that you can include in here. One of the really cool things with Microsoft Teams is bots, and that's kind of using artificial intelligence to go ahead and answer questions for you. We have not dove into that too much. We've used it for like for instance, the Microsoft Poly. Microsoft Planner is pretty neat. I've seen one with the ability to go ahead and book flights in hotels straight from within Teams. And as Teams is growing and maturing here, and again, this is Microsoft's #1 or most adopted piece of software ever, and it's free. Third-party vendors are coming up with ways to go ahead and integrate inside Teams all the time. So there's new things coming out often. So that's Teams in a nutshell. If you would like to find out some more information about Microsoft Teams or to get a little further of a demo, please reach out to us. Websites should be going across your screen here, and you can always give us a call. We'd love to sit down with you and show you what Microsoft Teams can do for your business. Thanks for your time.